Okay, today's share has very graciously been sponsored. Le'ila Nishmas Pinchas ben Yeshua Eliezer. So it was told to me that he survived the Holocaust by building a bunker with some of his brothers and others in Poland, and he managed to live there for several years. Afterwards came to New York, had 3 children, all Shomer Torah mitzvahs, and his parents were Ger Hasidim. So this share is being very graciously sponsored by his son, our good friend Izzy Broker. If you recognize the name, he sponsored the Ekadishings in the dining room also, as I state on the thing over there. So a big Ilun Neshama to Pinchas ben Yeshua Eliezer, his Neshama Shel Avnei Aliyah, and the Torah of today, Be'ez Hashem, should be a schos for him and all those that need it. Let's begin with Be'ez Hashem, Perek Lamed, Gvaldik. So just going into Perek Lamed, we have like this. We have this bonus that a person's meant to be thinking about in order to make himself more geschmack in Yiddishkeit, and specifically working on Gaiva, which was the Zohar Kodesh's Eitzah for a person that wants to break himself in order to get that geschmack in Yiddishkeit that he seems to be missing in his Avodas Hashem. The idea is to break oneself. Let's see if we can finish the whole parak in one shot. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that everyone's familiar, and the Baal Tanya is telling us, with the understanding of the last few prokim that we've been learning about, after we can mekayim that which it says in Pirkei Avos, that a person should be a low person, he should be a humble person, whatever that means in different ways of translation, before Kol Odom. Zuk the Baal Tanya, it means that a person should be this way. B'fnei Kol Odom, in front of everyone, mamish. That means he's not telling you to act humble. He's not telling you to act this way. He's telling you to be it, to feel it, to live it. Even the this is actually, by the way, I think this is borrowed from the Perush Mishnayos of the Rambam, where the Rambam also tells us that it's no great kunst for a person to be a low person when he's holding by, standing in front of Gedolei Adon Big Tzadikim. No, anyone can be low. But even in front of someone that's Kal Shabakalim, the lowest of the lowest, and he's still low in front of that person, that's what it means to be a Shval Ruach. V'hainu, al pi ma'am Rabbi Seinu Zal. Mishnah again in Pirkei Avos. Al todines chaverecha ad shetegevidim koimai. Never judge someone else until you reach their place, right? Which there's many ways of explaining this Mishnah, but one of the simple ways is never judge him, because you'll never get to his place. So therefore there's no point in ever judging anyone. Ki zuk the Baal Tanya, mekoimai, his place. Now we're talking about physical places and physical cause of where he's holding. Goyim loy lachtoi. In other words, it's his mokoim that causes that guy that you're trying to judge, that you shouldn't be, to do an avera. His panos is busy, he's running in the marketplace, he's standing at different places, and his eyes see all the things that he shouldn't be. As we know, Rashi in Bamidbar, it's the lave and the eyes that are the feet of the guf, says Rashi over there, which means that it's because he's looking, he sees, and the Mele's heart gets all excited. For Yitzrei Boya, and the Yitzrei is burning like fire. Ketanu ba'ira ma'ifa, k'mashikosu ba'ishaya, hu boya ke'esh lahava v'choli, ma'she'en ke'misha hoyle b'shuk ma'at. Rather, if you take somebody that only goes in the marketplace every so often, most times he's sitting indoors in his house, in his office, wherever he may be, that's safe. And even if he goes to the shuk the whole day, could be his nature is not to get so fired up, so excited. We know that everyone's Yitzhar is different according to the neshama that the Rebbeinu gave him, which means that you can't judge somebody else because you don't understand where he's coming from with the taivas and his tunas nefesh that he has. As the Gemara tells us, right, that somebody has a big and somebody has a small. Everyone's different. Like is explained at a different time, and that was actually explained earlier on in Perek Tezvov. He explained that everyone is different. So therefore, the Mishnah Pirkei Avos says don't judge somebody else because you don't understand where they're coming from and what leads them to where they are and to do the things that perhaps they shouldn't be doing. V'hinei, be'emes. Even if a person is very easily aroused in his nature, and what can you do? His panosa is to sit outside with all of the who knows people and with what's going on over there. Don't think for 1 minute that he has an excuse and he can come along and say, oh, I can justify what I'm doing. No, absolutely not. He's called a Rosh Hashanah, and the fact that he's not got this tremendous fear against the Rebbeinu Shalom in front of him. He should restrain himself. Yes, inside his, Yetzer Hara is firing away. Too bad. You've got to control yourself. That's just how it is. You should start working on your Pachad Hashem when you see all the things that you have, the things that you're doing. At the end of the day, as the Baal Tanya has explained many times, you have to be controlled in your brain of your actions. You have to learn to control yourself in an intellectual manner. Start from Chabad, Chochmah, Bina V'das, and it filters down after that, as we've spoken about so many previous prokim. V'hinei, be'emes, it's be'emes a huge mulchama. It's a mulchama gedola, the Baal Tanya. V'atzuma, really, really strenuous, serious, large mulchama for a person to break the firing Yetzer Hara that he has like fire because of the Pachad Hashem. It's not easy. He's not saying that it's easy. Is it possible? Sure, but it's not easy. And that's why the Baal Tanya is suggesting for a person. What we go back to the beginning. If you're trying to figure out what's the beginning of the Baal Tanya Perek Lamed got to do with what he's talking about over here, the answer is he's giving us this greatest eitzah. The Mishnah in Perkei Avos that says, be a low, humble person in front of everyone, meaning break yourself, which is the Zohar Kodesh's eitzah we've been learning about the last few parokim, in order to become the person that has this Pachad Hashem, and you have the ability to be able to fight the Mulchama. Every single person according to his personal situation. He has to weigh in himself. Are you serving the Rebbeinu Shalom on the same level as those people that are facing huge challenges and were exposed to the most incredible temptations? Right, in a positive way. Could go in Ba'avodas Hashem, Ba'avodas HaTfilah B'kavona, Lishboich Nafsho Lifnei Hashem, to pour out your soul in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom, B'chol Koichem Mamash, Ad Mitzvah Nefesh, till the last drop of life that's wrung out of you. Is that what you're doing? Is that where you're holding? Ulilachim im gufain, to make a mulchama with your guf, the nefesh habahamis shabai, hamoinim hakavadim b'mulchama tzuma, and you've got your nefesh habahamis inside you that's waging this incredible war against you to make sure you don't have kavana, right? Ulevatsham, ulachatrom. As well, a person has to crush all of the opposition that's coming from the other side before he gets to davening in the morning and before Ma'ariv every single day. Even not only before, even during Tefillah. Which is something that explains later on in Perek Mem Beis, all of these sugas of how to do that. But that's what a person needs to do. He needs to look at himself, and before he looks at everybody else and judges what they're doing and how they're doing it, am I doing what I'm meant to be doing, was what asked of me? If you haven't reached this, that you're fighting with your guf, this tremendous mulchama that's coming at you every single day, the Gemara in Sukkah, you haven't even reached anywhere close to this Muhammad Sayyidza that's burning inside you like a fire. To crush yourself and lower yourself and humble yourself in front of Rebbeinu Shalom and Pachad Hashem. Every single time you bench or make a bracha or whatever it may be in a mitzvah, doing the mitzvah with the right kavanah, doing it dafka d'shma. That is sitting and learning. To learn more than you want, to learn more than you think you naturally have the ability to do. Right? That's a mulchama. You've got to wage that war. It's not easy. Right? If a person, for example, thinks he can learn one blat, he says, I can't do more than that. And he learns a blat and a half. He does a little bit more than what he thinks his nature is. That's a mulchama ketana, not even a mulchama gedola. Ve'ein la'erech v'dimyon. It's got no shaychus in mulchama Yetzer Hara keish, with the Yetzer Hara that's burning inside you like a fire to make you Rosh Hashanah. You are considered to be a Rosh Hashanah. Im einoi menatzeach yitzur liyos nishba b'nei Hashem. If you're not overpowering and you're not able to overcome the Yetzer Hara to become a low and crushed person in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Mali b'chinas sumeira. What's going to be with it? That was all Aseh Tov, with all the good things that you're doing. What about the Sumei Ra, which is, staying away from all that is negative? Or Mali B'chinas V'Aseh Tov. Is there really a difference? Everything's the Rabbeinu Shalom. Whether it's staying away from that which you shouldn't be doing, which we spoke about at the beginning, or what he just said right now, which is focusing on the positive, which is learning Torah and doing mitzvahs and davening and everything else. It's all for the Rabbeinu Shalom. V'chein b'sham mitzvahs, or prat b'davar sheb'moment, for sure when it comes to dealing moments, money, financial things, person has to work very hard to overcome his natural temptations and natural instincts not to give money, and he has to fight himself. No, I'm going to get stuck, I'm going to give it away. Staying away from the bad. Yochel kolish maskel. Nimtzo benafsha she'enu sole gami mara bakol mikol kol. V'mokhan sh'doch mochomad su mekerech hanal. Every single person has to find in his nefesh a way that he's completely going to go away in every way, shape, or form. And he has to make this mulchama in order to get away from anything that's bad. That means even if a person is struggling more than he imagines that is possibly for his own personal benefit. Let's say a person's in the middle of a conversation. This is how to do it. Person's in the middle of a geschmackige conversation, and he's talking bad about somebody else. This guy is a bit of a nebuch. He said this, that, and the other. He's discussing with somebody else these things, and he's in the middle of it. To learn to be mafsik, to stop. You know how hard that is? It takes a huge avoidance for a person to do that. Even if he's giving a very small negative little remark, and it's true, and even if he's doing it to patter himself, to cleanse himself, to show innocence to himself, this is a famous chazal. I'm not going to go into it now, but Basra goes through this Barichas, the whole story. Because we're talking about a get specifically. That he didn't write a problematic get. It wasn't me that wrote it. It was Yehuda, the tailor, that wrote it. Stay away from Lashon Hara, he told him. The Gemara, but Basra goes through the whole Maisa, which means he was only saying something to make himself innocent. He wasn't even saying bad about somebody else. He was just saying, it's not me. Right? The Chofetz Chaim talks about this as well, how a person can't do that to make yourself innocent if you know you're going to incriminate somebody else. But I'll upon him, even that, okay, Gavna, what about to Makadish yourself for something that's mutter, which is a pasuk in the Torah, commercial cost of Kadeshim Tio, for Chol of his Kadeshim. V'gam, Divrei Soifim, D'Rabbanan, Chamurim, Divrei Torah, v'Cholei, Ela Shekol Edukiyot, B'mhei Ma'avoynos, She'odam Dosh B'Kivav. These are all the things that a person just tramples with his heels. It means nothing to him. He doesn't work hard towards it. He's not willing to wage that war, which he should be trying to do. V'gam Nasu Geheta, Machma She'ova V'Shana V'Cholei. It becomes basically mutter to him because he does it all the time. Avol, be'emes, imu yedea sefer. If he understands what he's learning, he understands what the Torah is demanding from us. Or magzit b'Torah Hashem v'kivas alekim yechbots. And he be'emes wants to get closer to Rabbeinu Shalom. Godel avonim in Israel. That means we know, even if it's small averas, they're greater than he thinks he can bear to actually even carry them. The burden is too great to carry. The very fact that he's not waging the war makes it even worse. Worse than the averas of the Kalsha B'Kalim who are standing on the street corners in the marketplace doing who knows what that are very far from Hashem. This guy is even worse. So if you realize what he's doing is he's taking a guy who thinks himself to be a choshev yid, and he's saying, you're a goonish, you have nothing, because at the end of the day, your avera of not waging that war and doing what you should be doing is way worse than the guy who you're looking at and judging, because he's far from Hashem, what does he know? But your avera is way worse. Their averas, these guys who are far from Hashem, who are doing the wrong things, whatever it is, don't come close to the averas of a person who's not kovish his Yetzer Hara. Even if it's Yetzer Hara that's boya keish, it's burning like a fire. The Gemara Chagiga goes through the whole thing, and the Gemara tells that the closer you are to Hashem, the more you should have known, and therefore the more is expected of you. When it comes to an Amoritz, even if they're doing b'mezid, it's keilu they did it b'shogeg because they didn't know. So what the Balatanya is telling us over here, you should now understand. Shaval ruach b'fnei kol adam means that a person should be a shaval ruach. He should be a low person in front of everyone, even kal shabakalim, as we explained from the Perish of Mishnayos for the Rambam, because however great you think you are, and however bad you think those people are, your avodah of being kovish or yetzer hara is the greatest avodah, and it comes before and is more chomer than those people doing the averas, and that's why I have to be careful. And this is all the plan of the Tanya to break a person. What the Zohar Kodesh tells us, if he wants to experience Yiddishkeit and wants to get a geschmack in it, this is part of the avodah in a practical manner. Don't judge somebody else. Realize your avodah is more important than anybody else's, and it's very important that to be kovish yetzer hara in sumei rava asay tov. Mit Hashem tomorrow, Perek Lamed Aleph B'siyata D'Shmaya.